everybody. Crafting Journey here. Happy Monday. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. I am that journey chick on Instagram. That underscore journey underscore chick. Yeah. What is on my shirt? Boy, you can dress me up, but you can't take me out. Look, got my Apple Watch on. Oh, it's a picture of my dad and stepmom. They both passed away. Oh. Anyway, so this morning I got up and I said, I am going to put my watch on and I'm going to walk the dog. And oh my God, she was ecstatic. I thought, so we're just going to do this little walk, just a little walk, because it looks like rain. So we get back to the house and she's like, oh no. She wouldn't even think, like she was pulling to me like, no, we're not going back to the house yet. We're not done. She was not having any of that. So I said, well, which way do you want to go? And she just started the way she wanted to go. Dogs, I'm telling you, they rule my life. And then I'm getting cats and they're gonna, yeah, I'll have no say-so in this house whatsoever. So I love my dogs and I love my kitties. So I was a guest on Crashly's show last night. So I got to see the kitties. They were like all curled up beside her, all 6 of them, plus their mother, plus the dog, my word. What color am I doing today? Okay, let's do this color right here. So we also announced yesterday the Crafters 90-day step challenge. Yes. We're doing a step challenge. It starts, it's going to run June, July, and August. You don't need to buy anything unless you have absolutely no way to keep track of your steps. Then you could go on Amazon, buy a really cheap pedometer, or like they have like knockoff Fitbits that are super cheap. Anyway, look into it. This is our way of, and I say our because the team captains are myself, Crashly, DP Addiction Adventures, which is Jennifer Roberts, Tia's Crazy Craft Addictions, and Crystal's Crafty Creations. And just seeing Tootsie go by. What you doing, honey? You pacing. She's pacing. Yeah, we're the team captains. And here's how it's going to work. There is a Google form that you can sign up for the challenge in the Crafting Journey Facebook group. If you are not in the Facebook group, it'll probably be in one of the other Facebook groups from the other creators. It could be in the descriptions of some of their videos. It's going to be all over the community. Sign up at the end of May. We're going to get together, the 5 of us, in a live. We're going to put everybody's name on a wheel. We're going to spin the wheel, put you guys on one of our teams, and we're going to be off to the races after that, starting in June. And it's just our way of getting on, we're on the other side of COVID now, so let's get healthy. We've all just been sitting around the house in quarantine, gaining weight. And I don't mean all. I know there are some of you who haven't gained weight, some of you whose lifestyle didn't change at all, some of you who actually lost weight. My God, bless you. But a lot of us put on a lot of weight from inactivity, not because we were eating terribly. I might have been eating terribly, but anyway, we're not going to talk about food. We're going to talk about just getting more active. And the only goal that you should have for yourself personally is that you do better tomorrow than you did today. There you go. So, and it's not a must. You don't have to sign up. You don't need to tell me what your excuse is for not signing up. It's okay. If you don't want to participate, it's okay. We still love you. But if you do want to participate, grab the form, fill it out, and we're going to June 1st. Yeah. Okay. That's enough of that. And also, don't forget to sign up for the mystery diamond painting. I think we're right about at 30 people, so there's still room for more people. That's also going to, I'm going to do the matchups. The signups are till the end of May. I'll do the matchups the first week in June. And then once you got a partner, you can talk about what I'm sorry, the dishwasher's running. Oh, I should have closed that door. Anyway, then you can talk about what you guys want to order for each other. All right, what else can I advertise? All right, my channel. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Ring the bell when you want to know when I have another video posted. I have one more unboxing that I have to do, part 2 of the one that I released on Saturday. That was a Lizzie Falcon from Treasure Studios Arts. And if you like the content of the video that you're watching right now, give me a like. Hit the like button. Okay, no more advertisements for today. That's it. Yeah. I had a great weekend. I don't know about you guys. I got to see most of you one way or the other this weekend, either in a live or in a Zoom meeting, or it was just a wonderful weekend. I love when I get to see you guys and chat, and yeah, it was fun. Lots of fun. I started a new crochet project. It's a hooded scarf that's going to have pockets in it. Now, I was following a pattern and I just could not. They were trying to get me to do a bean stitch, and I just couldn't get it. Like you had to pull through all 6 loops, and I just couldn't get that hook to go through those 6 loops. So I just said, I futzed around with it for half an hour or so, and then I said, okay, forget it. So I went back to my old hooded scarf book, and I just said, I'm going to design my own hooded scarf with pockets. So I'm just adding to the length of the scarf, and I'm going to make pockets at the end. No big deal, just made my own little design. And I'm using the Lion brand twisted stripes because I'm curious how that's going to look in a hooded scarf. And if it turns out good, I'll make some more. And I know some of you are waiting for hooded scarves and hats, and that's in the works. It really is, I promise you. If you are interested in purchasing a hat or hooded scarf, just message me. Let me know what colors you would like. If you have a particular brand that you like, just let me know. And we'll get together and discuss it. We'll discuss prices and stuff. And for those of you going to the Crafters Retreat in October, I will have merchandise there as well. Oh my goodness, I've got to stop advertising on this show. What can we talk about that's not advertising? Oh, it's so gloomy outside today. But today I am working from home. This is, Mondays and Tuesdays I work from home, and I'm so grateful. So grateful. I need Mondays to recover from the weekend. I really do. Lots of, Friday and Saturday I was kind of under the weather, a little bit of a, just head congestion, but that kind of went away towards Saturday afternoon. I started feeling better. But I did not take any time this weekend to clean my house. And today is National Clean Up Your Room Day. So I did yesterday do a little bit of craft room cleaning. I don't know if you can see over here. I had a chair over that way. I'll swing the camera over that way a little bit. I don't want to spill the coffee because that would be a tragedy. Let's see. Okay, let's just swing the camera that way. I took that chair out, and I took that ugly box that all my diamond art clubs were in. So all of my paintings that are still in boxes are here. We have, I think that might be a crafty mint on the end. These are all diamond art clubs here, and then there's some Treasure Studios Arts, followed by some smaller diamond art clubs there. And then, of course, the Wall of Alice. There's the Wall of Alice. And the roses came from my daughter and son-in-law, not officially son-in-law, but I call him son-in-law, for Mother's Day. And there's my little Inkari alpaca. So this part of the room is clean. Now, I can't speak for this part of the room, this half of the room. Yeah. Okay. Pretty soon. How about that? How about that? But yes, today is National Clean Up Your Room Day. It's not just for kids. Oh my God, you know what my mother used to do to me when I was younger? Me and my sister, and I just thought, oh my God, this is the cruelest thing ever. I just hated her when she did it. She would come into my sister and I shared a room. She would come into our room and she would take everything out of the drawers and everything from and just dump everything on the floor. And, and then tell us to clean it up. And I'm like, what was wrong with the way it was? Because of course we'd have toys everywhere, and she would just dump everything in the middle of the floor, everything, and tell us to clean it up. And we would be there for hours, crying and carrying on. And eventually we would get it all folded nicely, put back in the drawers. The drawers would be organized, the room would be clean, the beds would be made. Everything would be out from under the bed. She would do that, every so often. And oh my God, I hated her for it. Hated her for it. I never did that to my kids. Never. Now, my son always kept an immaculately clean room. And even to this day, he went into the military. Everything his house, when I go into his house, spotless. I'm like, I can't believe you have 3 teenagers that live here. Your house is spotless. And he's like, don't go in the rooms. I know Malia's like, her room is always horrible. None of them believe in hanging up clothes or putting away clothes. They live out of their laundry baskets, which I don't get. But anyway, pick a room today. Let's celebrate National Clean Up Your Room today. Pick a room and let's do some spring cleaning. Open your windows if you can. Get some fresh air in the house. And, do some dusting and, clean up your room. I'm going to at least run the vacuum and try to get the other half of this craft room clean. I don't function well when things are not organized. And, this makes me happy. I feel like I can breathe when it's all nicely organized. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys are the same way, but so now you have an excuse because it's the National Day to clean your room. Okay, so last night after I was on Crossley's Live, I went into my room and I sat down to crochet and I listened to the closing arguments. This is the judge, jury, and journey section of the show. So I listened to the closing arguments of the D.D. Blanchard murder trial. Yes. Oh, these guys did terrific. Their arguments were very, very well done, I thought. Not too long. And very to the point, and they made their arguments very well, I thought. So the prosecutor starts by showing the elements of the murder charge. Nicholas Godejohn is charged with first-degree murder of his girlfriend's mother, D.D. Blanchard. Now, D.D. was her nickname. Her real name was Claudine. So if you ever hear of Claudine Blanchard murder trial, it's the same thing. So D.D. Blanchard, so he showed the elements of this murder. And this is what the jury has to find in order to convict him. They have to find, number one, that Nicholas Godejohn caused the death of D.D. Blanchard by stabbing her. Now, we know that that's true. He's already admitted it. He said he did it. We saw him on the videotape saying, yeah, I stabbed her. And I think those were that's a direct quote. So, okay, element number one, check. Okay, element number two, that he knew his conduct would cause her death. Now, he absolutely knew that he was going to cause her death. He had talked about it. He had talked about ways that he and Dick Gypsy talked about all the different ways they could kill her mother. And he knew that going in there with this particular knife, he was going to kill her mother. Check. Okay, that's the second element. Third element, that he did so after deliberation, and they define deliberation as cool reflection upon the matter for any length of time. And so then what the prosecutor did was he slowly went through all the different times that Nicholas Godejohn deliberated doing this murder. And, he also pointed out, the prosecutor, that it doesn't matter that, Gypsy did the planning or that she asked him to do it. That's not one of the elements. Did somebody else plan it? Is not one of the elements. Did somebody ask you to do it? Is not one of the elements. I always think of, when my mom or my dad used to say, oh, if they told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? And sometimes I go, yeah, but that's what I think of when I see this thing. He also pointed out it doesn't matter that, we have a victim that wasn't so likable. Yes, Claudine Dee Dee Blanchard was not a likable person. She has nobody sitting in that courtroom on her behalf. Nobody likes this woman. But, she should have had her day in court, just like Nicholas Godejohn. He should not have been her judge, jury, and executioner. So nowhere in the elements does it say, unless the victim was a bad person. No, it doesn't matter. You take your victims as you find them. And some of them are not so nice people, so. What else did he point out? Also, this idea that Gypsy manipulated him into doing it. I mean, there's, in order to manipulate someone, it's an idea that you have to be deceitful. That what you're doing to that person is deceiving them into doing something for you, and that's just not what happened here. She asked him to do it. He could have said no. He didn't have to agree. She didn't say, say, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. It wasn't like that. There was no deceit involved. She just simply said, hey, let's kill my mother. And he said, oh, okay. There was no manipulation there. This is the closing argument. This is not me talking. So the real issue, the prosecutor said, is did he have the capacity to deliberate? Because of his autism. We know he was on the autism spectrum, somewhere on the autism spectrum. So did he have the capacity to deliberate? He did know right from wrong, as evidenced by, when there's videotape of him talking in jail to this reporter, and he's explaining, I stood outside her door, and I just thought to myself, you don't have to do this. He said it was like there was a devil on one shoulders and an angel on the other, and they were having this debate, and I could have walked away, and I didn't walk away, and that's calm reflection right there. It doesn't matter whether you're on the autism spectrum or not. He admitted he had this reflection right outside of her door before he went in and killed her. So, he also considered alternatives. If you're considering alternatives, you're certainly reflecting or deliberating about what you're going to do. He considered, maybe I'll go meet her mother, and she'll like me, and I can become Gypsy's official boyfriend. Well, that didn't work. So he also considered ways to make the murder easier. He considered the purchase of bondage tape. He considered the purchase of a taser. He wanted to use a machete. And Gypsy said, I can't steal a machete. It won't fit in my lap in the wheelchair. So she had to get a knife instead of a machete. So he was deliberating ways to do this. Clearly thinking about it, because he even came back and he asked Gypsy, is your mom a light sleeper? And when she said yes, he said, Well, does the floor squeak? These are all deliberations. He's thinking about this murder. How am I going to do that? Is she going to wake up? Is she going to hear me? The other thing is, he even decided what clothing he was going to wear. Now, that's deliberation. He decided he was going to wear that ugly ass, scary clown shirt just in case she saw him that she would be scared. God, I hope she didn't see the darn thing. It was hideous. Well, that's reflection. Hey, what clothes am I going to wear to commit this murder? Um, Other things where he deliberated: when he got to the hotel, he checked to make sure that he had the correct address. He checked on the price of the taxi to get to her house. He looked up her house on the Google map. All of this is reflection on what you're about to do. You're about to go commit a murder. Um, so whether or not he had the capacity, uh, I, you know, whether he had mild autism doesn't change any of this. He was still having cool, calm reflection about killing someone. And he knew right from wrong. He told you about the devil and the angel. He knew right from wrong. Um, and then the other thing I thought was super interesting was, at no time during any of the interviews with the police or the reporters does Nicholas say, you know, I'm doing this to save Gypsy. I'm doing this to get her away from this horrible mother of hers. He doesn't say anything like that. He's saying, I'm doing it so we can be together. So, the fact that, the victim's a horrible person or that Gypsy's in this horrible situation was not talked about by Nicholas. Nicholas did this so he could be with Gypsy, so he could control her. He wanted this S&M relationship. He wanted to be her master. He had all these fantasies, mild autism or not, this was stuff that he was thinking, and he was going to commit this murder so that he could have Gypsy. So that's the prosecutor's argument. Now, the defense's closing argument, also very good. He came through and he said Nicholas did not have the capacity to deliberate. He says, yes, he committed the murder, find him guilty of a lesser charge, but not first-degree murder. He did, he was on the autism spectrum. He did not have the capacity. He said, you heard the experts. The experts said, no, he didn't have the capacity to deliberate committing this murder. And that, he said Gypsy was fully capable of manipulation and deceit. She was taught that by her mother. That's all she did all her life, was deceive people. She pretended to be a 16-year-old in a wheelchair. She knew she could walk. She knew she wasn't 16. Well, at some point she knew she wasn't 16. So she knew how to deceive people. They were getting money in exchange for, the sympathy of her illnesses. So her mother taught her how to manipulate people and to deceive people. She had been forced to deceive people all her life. So was she deceiving Nicholas? The defense is arguing yes, she did. And she did manipulate him into murdering her mother. But the last thing that the prosecution points out is that, everyone in this case is a victim. Now, I tend to agree here. I really do. He said, you guys are all having sympathy, you have compassion for, the victim because she was stabbed to death. Good God, how horrible. Dee Dee Blanchard, you have compassion for what Gypsy went through. I mean, what a horrendous childhood she had. So then he implored the jury, please have some compassion for my client and find him not guilty of first-degree murder. Yeah. So then the prosecution comes back for their rebuttal, and they show this one video clip, and I'm going to try to find it, and I'm going to put it in here for you if I can put this video clip in. Watch this video clip, and you'll be like, there's your calm reflection right there. So watch this video clip, and that's it. So now that you've seen the video clip, tomorrow we will talk about the verdict. We will talk about what trial I'm going to cover next. I'm going to look through the catalog tonight, see what's going on. Maybe they've got a live trial. I know they had one last week. Maybe I'll see what last week's was all about. I'll cover that one. We'll see. We'll talk about it tomorrow in the morning show. But let's do this day in history. This day in history. As soon as I open my iPad up. Okay. In 1996. Oh, this is a tragedy. Tragedy. 8 people die on Mount Everest. This is the most amount of climbers ever to die at one time. Now, this mountain has taken lots of lives over the years, but never 8 at one time. So what happened was there were 4 parties climbing up the mountain. One was not so far up that they couldn't get back down, but the other 3 were one had already reached the summit or was very close to it, and then there were 2 others pretty close behind. The lead climbers were led by Anatoly Bokriv, closely followed by Rob Hall and his clients, and Scott Fisher and his clients. So they each had 2 clients. So that's 3, 6, 9 people. All of a sudden, this horrendous storm comes up on them. Really, really powerful storm. And these leaders, these guides, are very, very experienced climbers. So Bokriv makes his way down without his clients, he says, so he could get to a safer place in order to rescue them. Yeah, I don't know about that. But so his clients were left on the mountain and perished. Rob Hall and Scott Fisher stayed on the mountain with their clients, and the 6 of them perished as well. So 8 people died that day. And I was reading a little bit about this mountain, and one thing I found really interesting is that when people die on this mountain, they just leave the bodies because it's too difficult to get those bodies down. So they just stay on the mountain. They're very well preserved, and people even use them as like guide markers, like, oh, there's so and so. Now we know where we're at. That's weird. That's really weird. But it's also heavily littered with trash, this mountain. At one point they had this campaign and they took like tons and tons, like 8 tons of trash off this mountain, to the point where they regulate it now. So now whatever equipment you go up with, if you don't come back down with all of that equipment, you don't get your deposit back. And I don't know how much the deposit is. People spend thousands of dollars to climb this mountain, because there was like, sometimes they would just throw away their trash can, their oxygen bottle, empty oxygen tanks, littering the thing, plastic bottles, just trash in general. So there have been attempts to get it all cleaned up, incinerated. Yeah, and technology, has made this mountain a little easier to climb. But, sometimes these storms just come up out of nowhere, and things happen. So, yeah, that day in 1996, 8 people lost their lives on Mount Everest. So, it is Monday. What are the plans for today? Okay, I am going to go turn my work computer on and do some work. Gotta go to work. Yep. How about you guys? What you guys plan today? Any plans? Any plans? Don't forget to check out Crystal's Crafty Creations. She has a live on Monday nights. check her out. She'll be talking about the Crafters 90-day step challenge. Yes, 90-day step challenge. And how are we on time? Oh, we're right at 30 minutes. Okay. That's it. That's the show for today, guys. I kind of rushed through it all, but I'm so sorry. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I'm going to look up and get you a good trial for the next trial coverage. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow in the morning show. If you see me in a live tonight, say hello. Bye. Take care, everybody.